What's up guys? So it's almost Christmas and today I'm going to be giving you a gift guide for 20 items that are photo and video related for under $50. These might be items that you might find interesting to give to your filmmaking friends, or maybe if you're asking someone really special for a gift, these might be something that you might want to ask for. If you're interested in checking out any of these items I'm going to mention in this video, I'm going to list them down in the description below for you. And I also want to mention that this video is not sponsored. I bought every single one of these items with my own money and no brand asked me to make this video. So first we have the PGY Tech Pouch. So tech pouches are really good for organizing things in your bag. This one is pretty big, but they do have a smaller version. And in this, you can store whatever you want. A lot of people like to put batteries or cables or chargers. They have a slot for memory cards here, and you can even put in things like business cards. So it just depends on what you want to put in it and how you want to organize it. In this example, I put a few batteries, an SSD, some business cards and memory cards, a bunch of cables, a laptop charger, even a V-mount. So there's a bunch of space for you to put whatever you want in it. And again, if you're not looking for something this big, PGY Tech also sells a smaller size. So you have two choices to find the perfect size to fit your needs. Next we have ProMIS filters. You see me talk about these a bunch on this channel, but I really do like these. They just bloom your highlights, give your image a softer look. And I think in this day and age where a lot of lenses that are coming out, they're almost a little too sharp. This just helps add a little soft touch to your images and makes everything look a little less digital. They have a few strengths depending on what you're looking for. Usually, if you don't know, I would just recommend getting a quarter strength blackness filter, but obviously play around with it and see what you like. Also, unless all of your lenses are a very specific size, I would recommend getting a bigger ProMIS filter because you can use step-up rings to adapt them to smaller lenses. So usually the most common that I would recommend people to get is an 82mm ProMIS filter. Next we have the Nikkor BB Nano. So if you know those rocket blowers where you use it to blow the dust off your lens, this is that, but electronic. So if you hold a button, it turns on into a fan. And they also sell these different attachments. I have this kind of soft brush here so you can brush any dirt or dust off of your lens and also blow it. These are also battery powered, but they do last a long time. I think ever since I bought this, I've only charged it once. So they do last a pretty long time. And these are actually smaller than those rocket blowers. So it's just kind of a no-brainer for you to carry these around with you. Aside from the brush, they do have a few accessories that turn it into things like a vacuum or just different heads, so you can just see what works for you. So next we have backpack clips, and I really like backpack clips because they basically just clip onto the shoulder strap of your bag, and then you can attach your camera to it. And that's just super useful because a lot of the times I need to use both my hands. Maybe I'm holding onto drinks or I'm climbing upstairs or I need to do something else with my hands. So being able to attach the camera onto my bag and not have to hold it all the time is really useful. All you need to attach to your camera are these square Arca Swiss plates. And then once you have it onto your camera, you just slide it down and that locks in. This is a backpack clip from Falcam, which is my personal favorite. It's just a low profile, super slim, but PGY Tech also sells one. And this design is really nice as well. Both of them are super easy to transfer between bags. So either of these will work, just depends on which one you like more. So I personally like using backpack clips more than camera straps, but if you do like camera straps, PGY Tech sells these air straps. So you have this little attachment on the side, and then now your camera strap can just pop right in, and now it's locked. And then if you want to take it off, you just press this button and it comes off. And having a quick release camera strap is really nice because sometimes even if I do end up using a camera strap, I want to be able to take it off or put it on really fast. And I don't like to have it permanently attached to my camera. So using the quick release ones are really nice. So PGY Tech sells these ones, but a very popular one as well is the Peak Design ones. So it depends on if you already own a system, maybe choose one of these. If you don't, I personally like the PGY Tech ones. And if you don't like using camera straps and prefer wrist straps, this is a wrist strap from PGY Tech. It uses the same system as the camera strap that I just showed you, so they are interchangeable. So again, same design here, pop it in, pop it out. These ones are super nice because you can just wrap it around your wrist, a very quick pull just tightens it. And if you do decide to detach it from your camera, these ones are magnetic. So they just stay like this. And that way it's tucked away neatly so it's not just dangling from your hand like this. And again, this is the PGY Tech system, but if you did decide to go with a Peak Design system for the camera strap, Peak Design also sells a wrist strap. So again, choose a system that you like just so you can interchange between both of them. Next we have super clamps and magic arms. I actually did a full video about these a couple weeks ago, so if you're interested in checking that out, I'll link it up here or down in the description below. But basically these allow you to attach things like cameras or action cameras, stuff like that onto this side. This side just clamps onto something. And it's very useful because you can then hang things off of objects that you normally couldn't hang things off of. Or if you do decide to attach your camera to it, it gives you these very unique POV shots, and they're unique because the subject is very stable, but the background is moving. So it's just a very easy way to get a very different perspective on whatever you're shooting. These are super useful. I literally have one holding on to this light right here. I also have a couple holding on to my audio recorders and my video transmitters and my V-mounts. So again, these are super useful. And once you start using these, you're gonna definitely want to get more because you're gonna be finding ways to use them everywhere. Next we have memory cards. So for a lot of cameras, I think V60 cards are good enough for what you need. Obviously, it depends on the specs of your camera, but even for my A7S III right here, a V60 card is fast enough to be able to shoot all the frame rates and codecs that I need. I personally really like using the ProGrade brands. I've been using ProGrade for years, and they've been super reliable to me. And for under $50, you can get the 126GB one. I do have the 256 here, which is a touch more, but if you're trying to stay under that $50 mark, 128GB still lasts you a long time, and they're super cheap. Obviously, SD cards, there's not much to say about these, but you definitely want to go with the name brand because these store all your data when you're shooting, and you don't want it to corrupt. And again, I personally use the ProGrade ones. I've been using them for years without any issues. Next we have 501 reflectors. So 501 reflectors are very useful. They basically just fold out into this little piece here. And you can see right now, the light on this side is bouncing off of this and hitting my face. If I turn it over to the dark side, you can see that my face over here gets a lot darker because now the light is bouncing off this way, but it's blocking off any other light that's coming here, and it's stopping the light from bouncing against my face. And if you open these, you can also flip them to a gold or a silver side. Or if you just take it off completely, you can use it as a diffuser. And if you're newer to filmmaking, lighting is definitely one of the most important parts of creating a very nice image. So having a 5-in-1 reflector is just a very easy way to give you a lot of options on how to shape your light. Again, with the diffuser, if there's harsh sun coming in, or if you want to bounce some light on someone's face, or if you want to use the darker side and block light from coming onto the face, it's just very, very useful. I feel like 5-in-1 reflectors are one of those things where if you're a beginner, you see those and you think they're super cool and you start using them a lot. And then once you get into that kind of like intermediate stage, you stop using them because then you just start using like lights and stuff and you don't even think about a 5-in-1 reflector anymore. And then once you get into that very advanced stage, you start picking up again because it's just a very easy way to control your light. So if you've never seen these before, they're very useful. I definitely would recommend picking one up. Next, we have quick release plates. So this is a Falcam quick release plate. This is part of their F22 system. Basically, you just have a little plate here with a 1/4-20 screw and then 2 RE locating pins. So you can attach these onto things like, let's say like your monitor, and then you have a base plate. So this would just slide right on. And if you want to take off, let's say your monitor, you just press the button, slide it out, comes off very easily. So these are just a very quick way to be able to put on and take off accessories whenever you want instead of having to unscrew them every single time. And another option for quick release plates is the Condor Blue mini locks. So I find that the Condor Blue ones are better for heavier objects. Maybe they're just bigger in size. So let's say like a monitor. These might be better for holding a 7-inch monitor, while the Falcam ones might be better for holding like a 5-inch. So the Condor Blue ones are very robust and they're very strong. You still have your screws here and you have the RE locating pins, but these ones can also be removed. So if you're attaching an accessory that doesn't have an RE locating pin, you can take them off. They come in these super nice colors. They have a latch here to make sure that they don't come loose. I use these a lot to attach my monitor to a handle, so definitely recommend picking up some of these. And next we have multi-tools. I feel like everyone at some point has forgotten to bring around one of these tools, and then now they have no way of putting on the tripod plate or attaching other accessories to the cameras. So having one of these with all the tools that you need is super nice to have. So as you can see, it's just a very small tool. They just fold out. You have 5 on this side, you have 4 on this side. They all have various heads. And this is the SmallRig one. SmallRig does sell a version where they only have 7 heads, but this one is the 9 version, and I definitely recommend picking up the 9 version. It has every single tool that I needed it to have, and I've been using these for a couple of years already. So super cheap, and they're definitely a lifesaver. Next we have gloves. So especially if you're somewhere like me in Toronto where it's super cold, you're definitely gonna want some of these winter gloves. These are some gloves by ProMaster. And what's super cool about these is that they have a texture grip so you can still hold onto your camera. They are super warm. They have a pocket here at the back where You can unzip them if you want to maybe put like a heat pack or even store things like SD cards. Super comfortable. And I really like that they have these two finger holes. Only the index finger and the thumb come up. But this just makes it super easy to hold onto your camera and still be able to operate your camera because it's easier to touch the dials with your fingers than using the gloves. But then obviously if you start to get cold, you can just fold the fingers back up. So these are definitely very nice to have if you're shooting in the cold. Next we have this nano charger for your cameras. So I've shown these a couple times before. You open the top, you can put 2 batteries in here. They have an SD card holder if you want to store spare SD cards. And then it's just a very nice case for you to charge your batteries in. You can plug in a USB-C on the side and that's how you would charge it. So I like these more than like the OEM Sony ones because those ones you have to plug into an outlet. These ones, if you have a portable power bank or a V-mount or something, you can just plug that directly into here and then charge on the go. One of the things I really like is that when you have this plugged in and you put in a battery, it tells you how much charge is left so you know how much charge it is and how close it is to finish charging. And even when you don't have it plugged in, if you just have some batteries in here, you can just press on this button and it'll tell you how much charge is in it. So one of the worst things I hate is that when you have a battery in your bag and you didn't organize it properly, and then you don't know if you actually have any charge left on that battery. So you have to waste time, and this is especially important if you're on a fast-paced shoot like a wedding. You put the battery into your camera to check on the battery just to realize that that one was dead. So now you have to switch it out and find another battery. So if you have batteries in here, you can just store them in here, press a button, you can see exactly which ones have charge left and which ones don't. And then you can see, okay, I need to take this full one out, take that one, put it into your camera, and you're done. And having the case is also super nice because that way, once it's closed, the batteries stay in here. I can charge them on the go, maybe just throw them into my bag. And I'm going to be certain that the batteries won't fall out by accident and stop charging. So these ones, I've been using these for a while now. I definitely recommend them. These are for the Sony ones. I have one for my Fuji batteries right behind me. And I believe they also have Canon and Nikon versions as well. So I think these would be a great gift, especially since some cameras don't even ship with chargers these days. So these are super nice to have. Next we have the Ugreen Uno 100 watt. And if you look at this little guy, it looks like a person. And if you pull off its feet, you can plug this straight into the wall. So this is a 100 watt charger. At the top here, it gives you 4 different outputs. You have 3 USB-C ports and then a USB-A port. And chargers are just super useful. So having a bunch of outputs means that you can charge different things like your nano charger or charge cameras or computers, stuff like that. And I like this version because it's still relatively small and it outputs 100 watts. So 100 watts is good enough to fast charge like a MacBook. And nowadays, a lot of V-mounts, if you use a lot of them, they also fast charge at 100 watts. So having a 100 watt charger is definitely very nice to have. One thing to keep in mind is that 100 watts is only if you're using a certain port. It doesn't mean that you can fill up all 4 ports and still get 100 watts to every single port. So that is something to watch out for. But Ugreen's website does tell you how much power each port outputs, especially if you have a couple of them occupied. This one's super nice to have. And then they also have a status reading. So when you plug these in, they show you a face. And obviously that just makes them super cute. So 100 watt charger with a cute face, how could you say no? Next we have the Ulanzi fan. So fans are kind of a weird topic because most people won't pick up one of these until one day their camera overheats. Maybe you're shooting like a wedding or something and you're recording for a long time and your camera's just sitting out in the sun and suddenly your camera overheats. So these are super nice because they are battery powered. So if you hold on to them, they turn on. You press them once, the fan kicks in, press it again, it goes to faster speed. And then you can just turn it off whenever you want. So these are battery powered, but they also have a USB-C port here so that if you want to, you can hook them up to a power source and keep them running on all the time. I really like these ones because the mechanism is spring loaded. So it's just very easy to put onto your camera. You don't need any other sort of brackets or anything, and it fits pretty much all cameras. Next, if you like vlogging, this is the Ulanzi TT38. So these are basically just a tripod for your camera. They use the same square Arca Swiss plate that I showed you with the backpack clips. So these would just go into your camera and then they would just slide onto the top of this base plate right here. And it is a ball head, so you're able to swivel it and also adjust it to any angle that you want. And then one really cool thing is that if you're holding it, they have a switch here. So if you press it, these feet come out. And they come out super fast, so you don't have to waste time trying to pull the legs apart. You can just press the button, all the legs come out, and then now you can set this onto whatever you want. And then they also have this latch here. So this, you're able to hook onto an object. These legs hold it onto here. And this just allows you to hang this from different objects that you didn't think you could otherwise. So for vloggers, this is just a very convenient and versatile way to be able to film yourself, but also put down your camera whenever you want. So I mentioned earlier in this video that lighting is super important, but so is audio. And this is the Deity D4 Duo. And what makes this mic unique is that it not only records audio from the front, it also records it from the back. So if you're vlogging and you're recording yourself with the front, and then you want to turn the camera around and point at other people, but you still want to talk, now the mic at the back records your voice so that it's not muffled. And you have a switch here that lets you toggle it so that you can record from the front or from both the front and the back. And you have a second input jack here if you want to input another audio recorder into this. And then the switch splits the audio from this mic into the left channel, and then the second input that you just put in into the right channel. So this is just a very convenient way to be able to get 2 tracks of an audio. If you are using it to record from the back, they also do have a second wind muff that goes onto the back. And even if you never use the audio recording from the back, the size of this is just super small. So even if you just plan on using this with the front mic, it's just a very compact mic with some pretty good audio for vlogging. Next up on our list with something a little more niche is a suction mount. So suction mounts, typically they're used for cars, but you can stick them to other surfaces. You basically just put the back flat up against the surface, you press this air pump down until the white line disappears into the black, and then you know it's secure. You can use things like the magic arms I showed earlier in this video and attach them to all the different mounting points and attach a camera to it. So it's just a very cool way to be able to attach cameras onto other surfaces, and it's just a very easy way to get a very secure hold and mount a camera onto places where you normally couldn't otherwise. And then last but not least, we have hero caps. So these are lens caps that I designed and 3D printed myself. So if you look at the design, I've customized them so that you can put exactly what lens is on it so that you're able to stay more organized. They have a very cool hex design. They're super durable and they fit very snugly onto your lens and they don't fall off. I have these on all my lenses here. You can see at the back right here, all of the blue caps. These are all designed with my hero caps. I like to design mine with the focal length and the aperture just so that when these lenses are face down in my bag, I know exactly which one it is just by looking at the caps. I do sell these, so if you are interested in picking these up, they'll be in the description below. And that's all 20. That was a super long list. So again, all these items are under $50, and if you're interested in checking out any of these, I'll list them all down in the description for you just so it's easier for you to find. If you have any questions about any of these products, definitely let me know in the comments below. If this video was useful, definitely give it a like, subscribe to see more photo video content, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.